Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining Archangel Alts, trading with you live without a net. And I know that I'm going to be uploading this after it's already been live, but this process is trading live, and I don't feel like setting up a whole new live stream, so I'm recording this and then I'll upload it for you to be able to see it. I think that I'm going to try to get in on OST one more time. I think it's a smart thing to do, but I'm also going to take a look at gas, which is, yeah, it's doing a very similar pattern. So I don't think that we need to hit both of those at the same time. We're going to focus on slightly larger positions over here if we can do it correctly. So somewhere around 647, 645 to 652 would be really incredible. So let's try it around there. I'm going to test it small first. Not really small, about $600 worth. There we go. 646, we're going to try that. It's already going up before you had a chance to get in there. We'll see. Try 649. And I know that I'm saying that I'm willing to have both go in the interim. We'll just sell at 54 if it grabs that. Looks like it's grabbing at least some of it. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of the rest. Wow, what a huge spike. Bitcoin is getting pumped like crazy right now. So I have to switch over to show you that. And hopefully that'll have a positive effect, not an adverse effect on what we just put in. But super mega wow, check this out. 36.68. So it is happening right in front of us. I'm so glad I went with my instinct to get jumping over here. Wow. Yep. And that's another wow. Glad to see this. Hope that it's not a setup for something to drop, but this is exactly what we want to be seeing. So please do not cause our other position. Oh, well, okay, there's some of the drop on the other positions. Thanks so much for that. But I don't know if you can hear the coins that are jumping up with this. Include Nano, ONT, AGI, OST. I don't know why it actually has that. Oh, that was an up from before, I would assume. And REQ. It is still going, folks. It's a really big deal. Really big deal. Look at that. Wow, it's cool when you kind of go with your instinct not to just bow out when something's about to happen. There's no real way to know that it's going to. So, wow, isn't that amazing? 36.82. Now, while this is happening, I mean, just for those of you that are interested, it's a little bit different than shorting, but if you are looking to trade back and forth, obviously if you don't think that it's going to continue much higher, you could take this. It's probably going to hit 3,700, possibly going to hit 3,700, we'll see. But you could go to your BTC USD options with PAX or USDC or USDS or USDT, and you could sell it to USDT, wait for it to go back down, and then buy more Bitcoin if you would like to do that. You never actually have to leave and do fiat in order to do so. The other idea here is that you go to TUSD, which is going down in value because Bitcoin is going up in value. It's traded against it that way. And you could wait until it tops out, and then you could trade. You're basically buying TUSD with your Bitcoin and waiting for Bitcoin to go down and then selling it back to Bitcoin. So either way, you can take advantage of it that way. Wow. That's just out of nowhere. I've been noticing all the different spikes happening there, small group or individual efforts. Literally took it to 3,700.1. That took millions of dollars to get that process rolling. So hopefully it did. Yeah, it did hurt this. So that was bad timing. No way to really prevent that. But we're only trying to get here. So not really a huge deal yet. The main thing is that it doesn't fall out of sequence. I'm actually letting a little bit more of our rotation back in now that I'm kind of easing into the process of doing all this stuff live. So now what it is that it is actually resyncing with Bitcoin. And when it resyncs, it goes down with Bitcoin. Hopefully it will be able to go up with Bitcoin if Bitcoin goes up at all. Everything is crashing downwards because of Bitcoin going up. Unfortunately, that's just kind of when it goes too quickly. This is something you will hear from me over and over again because it's true. You know, I'm right about this, so I will tell you the truth. The point of it being that if Bitcoin goes up slow and steady, then it has a positive effect with most of the things that are syncing with it in the market. If it goes up fast, it kind of siphons off the energy from other stuff. And okay, so 36.75. That's really, really good. If it can actually hold this as a new average, this is how we get back up. And people will start to take notice, but we just need it not to hurt all the altcoins in the process. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to use some of our contribution to the volume here. I'm going to look at what the effects of things are as I go along. So I'll kind of talk about things in the background that are popping. Let's see. 638 is still really not all that bad. We just don't want it to keep going that way. Nano, ONT, and QLC are all going up. Let's take a quick look at Nano. It's gone back up about 1%. Good for you, Nano. Cool. And ONT, a little bit surprised. Well, yeah, it hasn't made it back to the 1800s yet. Oh, well, yeah, there it did right there. So 1789, so 1792, 1807. It's a little bit more than I would be comfortable with. Play this kind of time like really super cautious. But it was, well, okay, ARK has kind of been doing its own thing there. ONT and ETC now crashing a little bit. Not anything super substantial. So yeah, I want to focus on, oh gosh, come on, stop doing that, would you? We're going to end today on a good note. Look at how it's doing its mirror though. So this was the up, this is the down. Let's hope that it comes back somewhere in the middle. We'll be just fine. We'll be fine. Okay, so Bitcoin 3681. So I also want to pay attention to what the volume is doing right here. QLC is going down. Storm went up. Storm at 80. Really? Really? Yeah. Hey, that's really cool. So that was like from 76 to 78 to 79 and 80. That's pretty cool. There's anticipation at hitting 84, maybe even 88. Kind of thinning out here around 71. I'm kind of curious to see whether the liquidity is really picking up yet or not, or whether that's like, the one spike that it's going to be able to do. It's kind of representing what Bitcoin did, but in a delay. So it's not doing an opposite pattern, it's doing a delayed pattern, which is fairly common. Something that I've mentioned, and I'll go over in a very advanced way in advanced training on stuff, is the way that the different groups of coins respond with liquidity kind of at the same time as one another. What's so amazing, and all of this is picking up and happening in such a short period of time, but Bitcoin is still at 76 million 24-hour volume in USDT. And USDT is still really the most reliable way to look at what Bitcoin is doing, whether you like Tether or not. Whether Tether, that's the best way to measure it, and Binance is the best place to measure it. True dat. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, a lot happening here very quickly. So storm dropping, BCPT going up. Lots and lots of movement, because I mean this is kind of a crazy transition for Bitcoin. So I need to remember these numbers, 1125, and we'll see if it's going up substantially or not. Okay, so this is pretty complex what's going on here, but I want to kind of keep filling in some of these positions. There's a reason I'm doing that, but I'm only going to go over that in advanced stuff. So you can make your own assumptions about stuff. That's kind of fun. Let's see, fuel, still digity. IOST has come up a little bit more, that's good. Yo-yo, looks like it's having a little bit of a cliffhanger moment, kind of like we're dealing with our stuff right now. OMG. So let's look at how much that's actually done for the balance of the market. It was sitting right at 50-50. Now it's more in the green, a lot more in the green. Now that's just, keep in mind that's just in comparison to how terribly bad it was for the past 2 days. So, yes, that is a positive move. It is a move in the right direction. Just don't be thrown off to think it's like, oh my gosh, it's glorious. Everything in the market is up. In fact, we've seen and then so we want to see it come back up. We only need it a little bit. Let's see, where did we have this set? I mean, 654 would be profit. So it's not a whole lot that we need for it to do. And I just want to go back over that again. 49. Yep, totally agree with that. 54 is a minimum. Could take even 52 or 3, and all of that would still be profit. But we want to, try to get a margin that makes it worth the stress going on right now. So it's going to kind of probably reach a breakout point around here, and we just hope that it breaks upwards. It's already gone down, so we're hoping that it can. Yep. Yep. A little bit of weakening. That's, there's that slight rainbow shape there, like a sagging arch instead of a nice spike. Even though this didn't go up tremendously, it was like 644 to 651. Yeah, we need to get it out of the 30s. Get out, get. Skedaddle. So Bitcoin is kind of coming back down. It was not a very long-lived spike. Hopefully it doesn't come all the way back down to the 3630s. We'd like to see it get something sustaining out of that. It talked about that the other day too when we saw it go up to 3733, and it held there for a while before it came back down to the 3650s. So we really want to be able to see Bitcoin be able to sustain itself around 3650. If it can do that for a while, then the next up could sustain in the 3700s, and that would be really great. My concern is that there is a lot to be gained for those who are shorting longer positions. Shorting positions over a longer period of time. Those especially futures contracts, they mature after a certain time. If you don't do this by X, Y, or Z, then you're going to lose money. So there are a lot of people that know how to manipulate the market on a much grander scale. Then what I'm doing is not any kind of like manipulative manipulation. It's literally putting in lower positions and kind of coming upwards to test the response to the market along the way. So looking at the 1 minute versus, I'm actually looking at the 5 minute on my laptop sidecar just to see what the difference in these are. And It's still coming out of a negative position. The volume is still selling downwards, but it's starting to come around. Starting to. So what was looking like a low after its drop in the 649-ish range, we still have to come back up to that, unfortunately. So, but that's okay. You know, when you're testing the downside, you almost are always going to go down before coming back up. And I think that we're proving that right now. I believe so. And how much did we put on that? I think it was a pretty good amount. Yes, it was. Well, okay, we're looking in OST world. Here's our totals. So about 150, 150, 190. So not massive. Oh, and there's a dump. So they're, yep, this is a short. It's a short what they're doing. How dare you harm Bitcoin this way? Not a very nice thing to do. So they're selling all the way back down to 36.22. It's actually lower than it was before. We had it up in this 36.34 range. So this may actually help us in the temporary for our own positions. A whole bunch of things just went into neutral. And now they're going to be selling off. Let me tell you what some of the drops were. And hopefully this doesn't, feed into the fear. Nano just dropped, ETC just dropped, DLT just dropped, GTO just dropped, QLC just dropped. All of them because of the sell-off for Bitcoin. And it is coming back around to 36.34, 36.35. So I'm happy about that. That's pretty cool. Even though that's actually funny because, we gained 2 points while it was, selling off. RCN is down, MTH is down, OST is up, GTO is down, SALT is up, ONT is up. So ONT went down and then up. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So all this is happening while this is narrowing around here. This is really what we've been waiting for without all the insanity, is to just have this breakout. And we have about 300. We have about 400 in Bitcoin world on this position. So it's not tiny, it's not huge. Somewhere in between. So I could consider going back in, take advantage of this time, take a larger risk. Haven't really fully decided yet. Exciting. So, obviously I don't want it to come down in the 30s. I want it to go up to the mid 50s, even higher. And if we're looking at 698, if it could come back up to, yeah, I could see, yep, about 668. I could see that pretty easily. So, what I'm looking at is whether it is worth the risk involved. It's showing that it can kind of slowly, steadily come back up. I think that it wants to. I think that there's been about $4 million worth of trading taking place in Bitcoin in the past 10 minutes. And that speaks to something. I have no doubt that if I go in at 640, it can grab that pretty easily. Do I want it to? We'll see. We'll see what it does. Raven is up. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're done putting in those positions. And I believe it grabbed some more of that. Yep, good. So that was the 640 at 52. Okay, so 640, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll start selling off there. And there. And there. And I'll adjust that as it goes up. I'm going to just decide, yes, it is going to go up. That is what is going to happen, because that's what we need to see happen. Isn't it cool that it works that way? Yes, it is. All right, PO is down, ZIL is down, ETC is down. Bitcoin is sitting at 3634, which is higher than it was before, but actually it had come up to, what is that number that it came up to? Let's see. There we go. So you can see here it is in the 3630-ish range. It had come up to, really this is where it was, in the 3640s. Now it's in the 3630s, and hopefully coming back up. See, I mean, what we want from Bitcoin is, something to float around a range that's a real range, and for there to be a lot of trading back and forth in that range. $10 at a time, $15, $20 at a time in a range over 15 minutes, over an hour or so. Those are the things that just show a healthy market, not these, sudden knee-jerk pump movements. And we're almost there, aren't we? Looks like we're almost there. Okay. So that's OMG down. Okay, that's kind of all that I want to do there. I'm kind of helping to support it being able to hold in the direction that it's going. That's really kind of all that's happening there. So lots and lots of times I've, even, worked positions like this for hours and hours and hours on end, and all I'm really doing is preventing it, or, helping to be a voice in the process, but kind of trying to help prevent it from going down further. And then when it gets back into a positive position, it is able to go up enough to eventually sell. And I've had that go on for days and days sometimes. Just protecting positions, keeping an eye on things, hoping for the best, moving in the right direction. Okay, there's one right there. 599. One of the things that I've heard other people talk about, as far as allowing people to trade with them, they will say, well, we won't do it because it has an adverse effect. We want to be the ones that put in the positions. If other people do it, then it weighs it down too much, and then it doesn't work. One of the good things about our strategy is something that if you are doing this alongside of us, it actually just helps that much more. So if you know what you're doing and you do it right, there's no manipulation going on. It's actually putting in positions that are legitimate positions, and not, spamming things with ridiculously huge things that you don't intend to keep around. This is like literally there is no trade at boom, so we're putting in a trade at boom. And if I decide that I need to cancel it, then I will. But if more people were doing the same thing, we can kind of talk people through that stuff. We're not going to tell you what you have to do, but we can show you things that are beneficial. So it's kind of nice. And we noticed that, even the whale moves that do things that are manipulative, that they're intentionally putting in really heavy buy and sell positions way beyond what is normal for the market. it does actually have an adverse effect because they'll yank the rug out from underneath those positions intentionally with, 5, 6, 7, 10, 100 Bitcoin. And that's not a very nice thing to do. But yeah, you're trading along with us does not make the positions worse. It's just like, with the pump group where only the people doing the pump are guaranteed to make a profit off of the people that join. There's like 2-3 second window where they're already losing. And they don't care because people are so hopeful that the next time they'll get it right. And they're so nice. They're like, hold on to your, don't sell at a loss. Hold on to them. And it's very different from what we're doing here. We're choosing very cautiously, very wisely over an extended time to try to make the right choices that are going to be safe longer term. Longer term, I said, we want it to clear within an hour. But storm's down again. Riding the storm out. Yeah. Alright. Make sure I'm doing this right. Yep. Good. Alright. What is our highest position there? 634. That's actually playing it a little bit closer than I want to. I'm not really trying to go back in here. I'm just kind of propping up some of the positions that other people don't have in there. Helping the positions around them to succeed better. Okay. $5.99 is our highest one right there. So Theta just dropped. REQ just dropped. Something else just dropped, but it didn't tell me what it was. Okay. Keep your eye on that for a second. Okay, so let me show you something that I think you'll find kind of interesting. First of all, some stuff just dropped again. OST is up, S&M is down, CDT is down. There were like several others, but I was heating up some coffee. So if you take a look at on the 1 minute, and it's narrowing, so it's going to pop up or down. But I'm going to quickly jump back over to this, and you can see, and it's narrowing, and it's going to make a decision, and that's going to be the buy or sell. So we'll see. I just want you to see that there is an obvious correlation from that to that. So not exactly the same thing. It went a little bit, kind of popped a little bit at the same time that Bitcoin was having some trouble, but we're just now looking to go through that one last position. We've already bought and sold the new ones that we put in that were in the hundreds, and that actually, where is the price total? Yep, good. Okay, so you now do your thing. Yes. And there we go. Very good. So we don't really need these now. Be prepared to do a myriad of things depending on what was necessary. And there's a good chance that it goes way up now, it goes way down now. But it looks like we chose like within 1 point of the transitional number that was necessary. So that's a good thing. Very good. And I believe we had about 0.62 in rotation. So very happy with that. And got to do the responsible thing. You've got to. If you've been with us before, then you know what that is. It is celebrate with a cowbell. Woohoo! Yeah! Yoo-hoo! And for some reason this one cracks me up. I don't know why. Okay. Woohoo! All right, so thank you for joining us. I just wanted to come back in, and I just had a feeling that it was the right thing to do to try another round with that. So now we have bought and sold more OST at a profit, and very happy about that. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. Archangel Alts out.